All right, people, your boy, man, Mike here, man. Just want to give a brief update on Deion Jones' um, eligibility. It's hard for me to say that shit, so I gotta say it slow. But he is eligible. Eligible. All right, I can't say that damn word. But he's eligible to return in about 3 weeks, says the Falcoholic. Um, just if you look at it, man, the Atlanta Falcons are not doing well without Deion Jones in the middle. I love what Devonta Casey, Duke Riley, for the most part, what they've done so far, um, which is not much. All right, what's going on, Trike? All right, let me try to say this right this time, son of a bitch. Trike OBM. Fuck that. You trick. All right, that's what your name is now. All right, what's going on, DSGB? Yeah, man. Deion Jones he'll be eligible about the game again. I don't know how the defensive backs, but the linebackers, how they will perform. But so far, man, it looks like Foye Olakun is just taking over the middle, taking over that lead linebacker spot. Excellent. The play snaps are just highly favoring Foye Olakun right now. Duke Riley is playing well, but Olakun is just right now. We're talking about next year. Olakun will most likely be that weak side linebacker. I just love what I've seen. His physicality, his athleticism. He just fits well on that weak side. He's improving each week. And like I said before, man, if they can get Deion Jones back at least about week 11, if you haven't heard, he was on the temporary IR with that foot injury, which I'm sure everyone has. Yeah, but I'm sure that everyone knows that already. But for the most part, man, the Falcons, if they can continue, they can go finish these next 2 games. The Falcons could be right back in this thing. All right, you get Deion Jones is playing amazing right now. The offensive line lost Brandon Fusco with the ankle injury, a freak injury, one of those pileups. That's too damn bad for him because I thought he was one of the best guards, if not the best guard the Falcons have. Garland back. Thank God for that. I think he's a tremendous underrated offensive guard, for the Falcons. So Wes Schweitzer, so far, he's been okay. I need to see a little bit more out of him. I thought he had a little bit more potential than what he's been showing. But you got Ben Garland, Alex Mack in the middle, so you can try to salvage some things for the most part. But the Falcons' offensive line has been susceptible to the blitz, which is the most frustrating part because, although, Jake Matthews is playing at an amazing rate as a pass blocker, Ryan Schrader has been straight doo-doo, okay? Ryan Schrader has been straight tracks. And at this point, we talk about contracts and whatnot. We'll talk about Robert Alford's contract. This is a hot subject on this channel right now. Robert Alford, the Desmond Trufant, but that's neither here nor there. We talk about Devonta Freeman's contract, and should we give Julio Jones a contract extension? I think that's something that's definitely going to be done regardless. Speaking of Julio's contract, but when you look at contracts on this Falcons team, Ryan Schrader's contract is a little bit high for a tackle, and for my liking, I think he's getting market value. We're going to need him to step up. All right, you lost Brandon Fusco. Ryan Schrader is much better than what he's playing. At least I hope. All right, but the Falcons, if they can continue to get good play from Wes Schweitzer and Ben Garland, I think everything will be all right. But man, let's get into it, man. Let's get into the comments. Answer some questions, man. You already know how I do. I normally plan to do 30 minutes or so, but it seems to go over that most of the time. George Smalls, do you think we need to make a trade for someone? The Falcons need to make a trade, but they don't have the assets. They don't have the cap. I'm one of these people. Just look, you have to understand something, people, and I'm continue to say this over and over again. The NFL is one of the most difficult sports to try to make a trade in. Why? Because you're dealing with the salary cap. It's not like the NBA where you have revenue sharing and you can go over the cap as long as you pay for it at the end of the season. So when you're thinking about trading for someone, it's highly unlikely that you're going to get a player in return for what you're looking for. The Falcons have a guy, Devonta Freeman, who's been a hot topic of trying to folks trying to figure out what to do with him. And you're not going to get any team right now, as of right now, not even the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, they're looking for a running back. You're not going to get any trade, a respectable trade for Devonta Freeman. $14 million. I've said this before. He's getting paid way too much money. You decide to cut him this year. Like I said before, I made a video on this. $14 million, $9.5 million, and 2020 a cap of $6.5 million. So we're looking at seeing Devonta Freeman for the next couple of years, at least 2020, before you can reasonably find a back or, decide you want to move on from Devonta Freeman. So that won't happen. But again, when we go talking about trades, the Falcons don't have a lot of cap space. This is not like New England, where New England pretty much robs everybody who tries to get paid outside of, Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski. The Falcons, any other team that's contending, don't have a lot of cap space. So that I do not expect a big trade from the Atlanta Falcons at any time. You're not going to get anyone significant. Just not going to happen. If you look at the trend of Dan Quinn, he doesn't make a big splash in free agency. He doesn't make big trades. He drafts well, and when he needs a big time player, I mean, when the player is out there and you can justify paying him like Alex Mack. The Falcons desperately needed Alex Mack, so got this guy for, I think, contract nearly $50 million, about $50 million for Alex Mack. Wise investment, but for the most part, you're not going to see the Atlanta Falcons make any significant moves, in as far as trades are concerned. All right, but you never know. All right, you never know. Look at the salary cap. I don't think the Falcons are going to make any move at any time soon. And yeah, the Falcons don't need to trade. They need to settle in and stop playing. Yeah, that's the thing, man. The Falcons really they don't really need a lot right now outside of a consistent safety. The Falcons need to get consistent pressure up front. So it starts with Grady Jarrett, Vic Beasley, and Tack McKinley. Don't think they need a lot in the secondary. You have two corners that are capable. They're not playing. Robert Alford, for the most part, is playing like straight trash, okay? I know y'all love Robert Alford because it's 4.4 speed, his ability to get pick six, and, all this type of stuff. But the guy's just technique, his confidence is trash, and he's playing like straight garbage. So if the Falcons want to make a move, if they're going to make a a run at the playoffs, it has to start with uh, Desmond Trufant and Robert Alford. I think Jordan Richards, Brian Poole have pretty much settled in um, as good as they're going to be. They're not Keanu Neal and Ricardo Allen, but they're as good as they're going to be. You have a safety and Demonte KZ. That guy's improving 3 picks on the 13th ranked safety as of last week, the beginning of this week. He is definitely improving. But when you look at the Falcons' needs, they don't really have a lot of needs. They have needs as far as safety is concerned. Linebackers are improving. The defensive line is definitely starting to heat up. Tack McKinley, Vic Beasley, Grady Jarrett. These guys are starting to heat up. So the Falcons don't have a ton of needs. They can make a move here and there, but I don't think you will see anything significant. David Chambers, KC doesn't have the best defense. They just do enough with the high power offense. So I believe in have the same success. And that's exactly it. That's exactly it, David. You saw that last year with the Philadelphia Eagles. And I tell people all the time, you don't need to have the best team on paper, okay? It's all about getting hot at the right time. And the Falcons, if they can continue to improve on defense, take the ball away. If they can get in a rhythm where they're taking the ball away on defense, getting turnovers and whatnot, doesn't matter if you have Deion. It doesn't matter if you have Ricardo Allen, Keanu Neal out. If these guys can get to the quarterback and get turnovers, it doesn't matter because you have a high-powered offense with Matt Ryan, who's having one of his best seasons. If you ask me, I think his season rivals his MVP season. So we have Matt Ryan at the helm, Julio Jones, those guys playing well on offense. I don't think it's out of the question if the Falcons can make a run in the playoffs, but it all starts with pressure and getting turnovers. So they can continue to win the next couple of games will be vital at this time. We're looking at a possible run at the playoffs, but again, it all starts with getting pressure and turnovers on defense, and they have to fucking tackle. Okay, they have to continue to tackle. I've been excited and impressed with the improvement of Foye Oluokun, who's taking a lot of snaps away from Duke Riley. So he's definitely improved. And I think, like I said before, I think Oluokun weeks side linebacker next year. So I'm optimistic about the defense. Okay, they're not where I want them to be, but they are improving. I mean, what do you expect when you have 3 of your best stars on defense out? So I'm impressed with Dan Quinn's his ability to teach these guys on the run, because these guys are not starters. Most of them are backups. Most of them are rookies. And, I have a fairly bunch of new players. So I'm optimistic. I'm excited to see what the defense can continue to improve. But I think it starts with Devontae, but I think it starts with Robert Alford and Desmond Trufant. Those guys have to play well if the Falcons are going to make a run at the playoffs. Panthers Saints out of reach being risked. No, it's not out of reach. Okay, this is the NFL. We don't need to beat the number one. We don't need to win the division to make it to the playoffs. This is what's good about the NFC right now. Yeah, you have the Rams. Yeah, you have the Saints that are playing well right now, but they're 5-1. They still have a ways to go in the season, so it's not out. 5-1. Yeah, but they're not out of the picture. No, I think they're 6-1 at the moment, but maybe 5-1. But Saints and Panthers, they're not out of reach. Don't really need to win the division to make it to the playoffs. So yeah, 4th rounder for Bruce Irvin. That's not possible because again, I get frustrated because we think this is just Dorico, no offense, but this is not how the NFL works, okay? I say it over and over again. This is not like the NBA where you can just trade for players and not worry about how much money they make. Okay? Bruce Irvin makes somewhere in between where in the range of 12 to $14 million a year. And the Falcons are not going to pay, and they don't have the cap space to trade for a Bruce Irvin. If you're going to trade for a Bruce Irvin, you have to have a player that matches his salary, which we don't on the defensive side of the ball. And you have to, one, the Raiders be willing to basically, I just don't know. It's not possible to have a Bruce Irvin on this team. The Falcons just don't have enough cap space. I just wish people would understand that. This is the reason why Falcons haven't made moves this year. They don't have the cap space this year. Now, going in 2019 and 2020, you have room to make a couple of moves here and there in free agency, but right now the Falcons just don't have. They have so many players on the defensive side of the ball. You have to give Julio his money, and you have to think about giving Tevin Coleman his contract. So looking at Falcons don't have a lot of options, man. They really don't. And as far as the Saints are concerned, man, I think they are fool's gold. I don't think the Saints are realistic. I don't think they are a legitimate Super Bowl contender. We've seen this before out of the Saints. They're all offense and nothing else. They made a trade for Eli Apple, what I thought was just another stupid move by the Saints. They're going all in for this year, knowing that Drew Brees is 50 fucking years old. Just stupid. You salvage your future to win a championship, to possibly win a championship. As long as the Rams are in the NFC, the Saints are not going to beat them. All right. They barely beat the Minnesota Vikings yesterday. If it wasn't for a couple of miscues on the Vikings game yesterday, the Saints most likely wouldn't have won. The Saints are fool's gold. I'm not trying to hate on them, but it is what it is. I mean, if I am hating, who fucking cares? They the Aints. Don't really care. But who do you think we're getting in the draft? It's too early to see. We don't know how Ricardo Allen's going to come back. Keanu Neal is going to react to his knee injury. So we have to wait and see. Thank God we have a Devonta Freeman in the have Devonta Freeman as free safety right now. So he's playing well. Jordan Richards is playing okay. Brian Poole, he plays safety at times. So the Falcons have players that they can lean on if those guys aren't back to normal. So if I were the Falcons, I'm looking for, in the draft, I'm looking for someone who can play the base defensive end. You can either get that to go with Vic Beasley, Tack McKinley. I think they would need a third defensive end, like I said, someone who can play base and apply pressure as well. So I haven't began my draft board just of yet, but if you're looking at the Falcons, I think you go defensive tackle drafting. A guy at defensive tackle, Wilkins, is a guy that's keep coming up for a lot of people. Lieutenant Dan on unintentional ground, he absolutely loves this guy. So I'm not sure at this moment who we draft, but if I was pressed to say who the Falcons draft in the first round, you have to go with a defensive tackle. And in the second round, you have to go with a guy. If you have a cornerback like a DeAndre Baker, I don't think he would be there. So you don't really, outside of defensive tackle, the Falcons are definitely they have to draft a guy after the defensive line. It has to be defensive tackle first and defensive end after that. But yeah, Antoine, I think Dan Quinn is doing well. These guys they know what they want, and building a team in free agency, you're gonna make more mistakes than be successful. You rarely make sign a guy in free agency that's going to be the difference maker. You hardly see guys like Alex Max come to a team like the Falcons and be exactly what we need. So you don't see a lot of this. So free agency, I think Dan Quinn does the right thing, going after players that can fill a role, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. We saw that with Jack Crawford. He's been tremendous for us. You've seen it with Brandon Fusco, another quiet signing for the Falcons. So you don't need, in free agency, don't need to make a big splash. So draft, free agency, man, like you said, Antoine, that's the perfect way to do things, man. Draft a guy, develop him, and sign, guys like Brandon Fusco who can play a key role as far as, solidifying an already talented offensive line, an already talented defense, get players who can, like Jack Crawford, who can provide a pass rush outside of Grady, Vic, and Tack. Easy De Niro. I like that name, by the way. But yeah, anyone else see the defense gel right in front of our eyes? We just need Debo to back some kind of leadership, and that's what the Falcons need, a spark on defense. They don't have a lot of playmakers outside of Devonta Freeman right now. No one is making plays. No one is getting turnovers. All right, outside Tack, Grady, no one in that secondary is making plays. Outside of Casey, no one linebacker is making plays. So you need your playmaker, and we are seeing right now how vital Deion Jones is to this defense. We may be seeing Deion Jones get his contract as soon as he's eligible, okay? ASAP. I think that gets done immediately, because when you look at the Falcons' struggles, it's all about tackling and fundamentals. Deion Jones can settle all of that, all right? You get him back in the somewhere at the Falcons. Again, if they can win the next 3 games or so, you get to the Dallas Cowboys, you get Deion Jones back, and you make a run at the playoffs. The Falcons can easily make a run at a Super Bowl, but they have to take care of the 3 games that are ahead of them right now in order to get to Deion Jones. Have the, I guess, they have to win these next 3 games to even think about making it to the playoffs. Right? Don't win these next 3 games. You have to win at least 2 out of the 3 games if you're going to make a reasonable shot at considering bringing Deion Jones back. If you don't win the next 3 games, I don't think you bring Deion Jones back. I think you just pretty much, call a year and focus on the draft. But you win the next 3 games, you get Deion Jones back. Falcons are right back in the playoff picture. And the way this offense has been playing with Matt Ryan, winning the Super Bowl or getting to a Super Bowl is not out of the question. Like I said, we've seen this before. We've seen teams come out. No one gave the Philadelphia Eagles a chance to even beat the Patriots, yet they got hot, and they did. So the Falcons, all they have to do with the way this offense is going right now, they just have to, continue to play well on defense, and continue to make improvements. I like what I seen for you, Debo. Like I said, you get Debo back, to go with Olakun, Duke Riley, a guy that knows the defense. He knows where to be, and he's a tackling machine. And Deion Jones, he can make plays. All right, so you get him back. I think the offense is playing well enough. The Falcons make a run at the Super Bowl. All right, this offense is electric. Okay, make no mistake about it. Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu, Austin Hooper. Love the progression. What I've seen with Austin Hooper, you're looking at a team that is definitely has a chance to get back to the playoffs, but they have to win the next 2 to 3 games to make that a realistic opportunity. But you guys don't have any more comments, questions, or whatnot, man, I'm out. Again, man, I appreciate all the love on the channel, man. Continue to grow. Thank you guys for helping me get to 800, man. I'm working hard to get to 1,000 so we can get started on a lot of things that I have now. So you guys, man, if you have a channel of your own, just let me know. I'm always willing to collaborate. I'm always willing to work with another that's any guys that's trying to make a come up. So hit me up, man, at any time if you want to collaborate. Eddie Edge. I don't know about that. Falcons do not have a poor scouting department. That is for damn certain, okay? That is for damn certain. All right. As much as we bash Mike Smith and their terrible drafting, the Falcons have they have one of the best scouting departments in the game, bar none. Since Dan Quinn has been with the Atlanta Falcons, they have hit on every single first-round pick. All right, every single one. You look at Deion Jones, you got him in the second round. Keanu Neal, Vic Beasley, Tack McKinley, Grady Jarrett, Brian Poole has been another undrafted free agent that the Falcons have definitely hit on. Offensively, Ito Smith, Calvin Ridley, a number of the guys. I mean, the Falcons scouting department is absolutely brilliant. These guys knows exactly what they want, and they've been hitting every single one. So outside of a couple of guys that hasn't played up to par just of yet, the Falcons have one of the best scouting departments in the league. John Miner, if a player is healthy enough to play, he should hold him out to next year, and it could get injured game 1. So there's no reason I would bench a healthy player. I mean, I guess that makes sense if you're referring to Deion Jones situation. If he's healthy, he can play. But NFL has a rule where you have to miss 8 games. So Deion Jones may be healthy right now, but considering the NFL rules, you have to be out 8 games. You have to miss 8 games and eligible to and able to come back. So Deion Jones, like I said, Deion Jones may be healthy right now, but the NFL rules say you have to miss 8 games in order for him to be eligible to come back. So his eligibility is, and goddamn, I said that right that time. But yeah, his eligibility is coming up against the Dallas Cowboys. So if he is eligible to play, I think he would have been able to play if he was healthy. I think he would have come back if he was. I think he's ready to come back. I think he is able to come back, but considering the rules, the NFL rules, he's into the Dallas Cowboy game. So again, man, I appreciate everybody. Yeah, John. Yeah, that's the rule. So if you, I will have the article to the Falcoholic where it says when Deion Jones will be back. I will have that in the description or the comments so you guys can check that out. But Deion Jones is definitely should most likely be back for the Dallas game. So look forward to seeing that. I have to see what Deion Jones can bring as a playmaker outside of Devonta Freeman, because they desperately need someone to step up and make plays, okay? But again, Aaron, man, I appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it, man. Like I said before, man, I love my Atlanta Falcons. I love talking sports with you guys, man. I love getting in these heated debates with you guys in the comment section, man. I'm there, man. Like I said, I'm not like a lot of these YouTube stars. As long as I continue to, you guys continue to comment, I'm going back and forth with you guys. All right, this is what I love to do. I love to interact with you guys, man. And like we said, a lot of these guys get too big for YouTube, and they forget about their fan base. They really do not interact with you guys at all. I know what that's like, and I'm completely different. I love interacting with you guys. Love to talk sports. Love to talk Atlanta Falcons football, man. This is what I love, and I appreciate all of you guys subscribing, man. I really appreciate it, man. So again, if you guys want more Atlanta Falcons updates, you can check out my Facebook page, Atlanta Falcons Hardcore Fanatics on Facebook. You can hit me up on Twitter at Mad Mike Sports, the same exact name, and IG as well at Mad Mike Sports. So again, I appreciate all of the support, and I will continue to give you guys more videos and more hot topics so we can debate, have fun, and talk Atlanta Falcons football. I mean, we can even hit up basketball, talk about Trae Young, the Atlanta Braves, whatever, man. Your boy Mad Mike is out, man. Again, I appreciate all the love, man. I really do. But yeah, I guess I'm not done. Aaron, that's how shit goes on this channel. I know about Jones, but I want to know how you feel about Sark now. Can our offense carry us to the playoffs? Checking that. Okay. Yeah. But Sarkisian and how he his progression from year one as a rookie coach. Okay, a lot of fans think just offensive coordinators or coaches just come in and have immediate success. That's not how things work. You have to get to know your personnel. You have to get to understand which plays, they like, specifically Julio and Matt Ryan, where these guys like the ball, when they like to call certain plays. You have to get familiar and comfortable with your players around. And so Sarkisian, I love what he's doing offensively. Thought he was a brilliant offensive mind, even at Washington. I mean, he had issues with alcohol. So he's a terrific offensive mind. Make no mistake about it. Everywhere he's been, he's put up great numbers as an offensive coordinator, man. Like I said, if you go back and look even on YouTube, you can do a lot of research on Steve Sarkisian. Washington program was absolutely in the dumpster. All right. They were freaking trash. They were at where Nebraska is right now. They were straight garbage until Steve Sarkisian came and turned that franchise around. That team, okay, that team in Washington was nothing. So Steve Sarkisian is an excellent head coach. You don't get the backing of a legend head coach of Nick Saban, okay? You don't get Nick Saban to vouch for you if you're not a good coach. So a lot of Falcons fans, a lot of fans and people in general, especially if you look at the NFL Network, and I love a lot of those guys there, but those guys gave Sarkisian a hard time. Say he's not creative, blah, blah, blah. And we're seeing the complete opposite in year 2. So I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but I forget the quarterback, the Rams quarterback. Kurt Warner was one. God damn, how the hell do I not remember Kurt Warner's name? But Kurt Warner is the guy that I'm referring to. He gives Steve Sarkisian hell, okay? So Steve Sarkisian, as far as offense coordinator, I think he's doing brilliant. We're seeing a lot. We're seeing a lot of former offensive players, NFL players, analysts, journalists are starting to eat shit, okay? They're starting to eat shit when it comes to Steve Sarkisian. He's making everyone eat every freaking word. They say he wasn't capable of turning offense. He wasn't smart. He's not creative. We're seeing the complete opposite of now. We're seeing Calvin Ridley, what he can do with Calvin Ridley, with players that he knows, okay? We wouldn't have Calvin Ridley if it wasn't for Steve Sarkisian. So as far as that's concerned, man, I love what I'm seeing for Steve Sarkisian, the offense. And as long as you have Matt Ryan at the helm, he's going to make a lot of offensive coordinators much better. So play calling, I love what I'm seeing for Steve Sarkisian. Can the offense carry us to the playoffs? Absolutely. But if the defense is giving up 30 points a game, that's not going to happen. All right. So you got to continue to get turnovers, continue to get pressure. Tack McKinley, Vic, Grady, they got to have to continue to get pressure. You need guys like Trufant, Robert Alford, DeMonte Casey, these guys to get turnovers. So the Falcons the offensive can carry them to the playoffs, but they have to play better, man. They have to play better than what they've been playing lately. But man, yeah, man, I appreciate all the love, man. I will try my best. All right. I love doing these lives with you guys, answering the questions, interacting with you guys, man. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the channels, if you have any friends that love to talk Falcons football, man, do you mind Julio not getting touchdowns? I really don't give a damn about Julio getting touchdowns. Why? Because the Falcons offense is still successful. I think when you look at the Atlanta Falcons offense with Julio concerned, and I'm a big fan of film, okay? I go to unintentional grounding, and I watch a lot of film with Dan. We do a lot of talking or chatting about what's wrong with the Atlanta Falcons offense, what's wrong with Julio, what's wrong with Tevin Coleman, how Sark is featuring these guys defensively, offensively, and we come to the conclusion that the Falcons are not trying to force anything to Julio. This guy sees double, triple team every single play, all right? Inside the red zone, you can pretty much call it a day because you're going to get a double. You're going to get everyone to roll to Julio. All right. They're going to roll to Julio every single time. You're going to have a linebacker underneath. You're going to have a safety, and you're going to have a corner inside, outside. So they're going to bracket Julio at every single play. All right. So this is why you see a lot of teams. That's why you see Julio have a lot of yards, a lot of catches and whatnot, because you have teams that triple team this guy in the red zone. They just don't want Julio to get any love. They don't want Julio to make any to get any touchdowns. All right, if Julio is going to get touchdowns, he's going to have to do it within the midfield. He's going to have to break out for a long touchdown or deep pass or anything. That's the only way Julio Jones is going to get touchdown in this system. Another way he's going to get is the Falcons use him more as a receiver out of the backfield, at tight ends, roll him around, give him end arounds and whatnot. You're going to have to do like different things with Julio. That's the way you can get him involved as far as in the red zone to getting touchdowns. So don't think the Falcons want to use him as a runner. I don't think you use Julio Jones like that. You take away a lot of things. But with the emergence of Austin Hooper, he's going to open up things in the red zone. So if Austin Hooper continues to develop as a tight end in the red zone, he becomes a legitimate threat in the red zone. Defenses have to respect that and more single coverage with Julio. But it all comes down to someone has to step up outside of Julio Jones, or even Calvin Ridley in a legitimate red zone threat. So until that happens, someone outside of Calvin Ridley, in the red zone, someone steps up, we're not going to see a lot of touchdowns from Julio. The Falcons are not going to force it to Julio in the red zone just because we want numbers, all right? That's not what we do. That's not what the Falcons do at all. It's never going to change. So Julio Jones accepted. As long as Julio Jones is comfortable with not having touchdowns, as long as this team continues to improve, this team continues to do what they do on offense, don't worry. I mean, I'm not worried about it. And that's just the truth. Hooper is a guy, going back last year, I thought he would be a big time player. He still made a couple of plays last year, first game of the year when he made that big play against the Bears where he stiff arm the defensive back. That was a hell of a play, by the way. Hooper, he's athletic, has tremendous speed, and he's improving with his hands. The offseason ritual with workout with Matt Ryan did well for him. But Hooper continues to improve, man. The Falcons offense is just going to get even more exciting, all right? You don't have your best runner and Devonta Freeman, who's injured right now. But Hooper, man, you add him, Devonta Freeman, whenever he decides to get, whenever he's, I think, not worried about Devonta Freeman playing. I think he's pretty much out for the season, unless the Falcons make a big run in the playoffs. I don't think you see Devonta Freeman this year. I think he's pretty much out for the year. But yeah, we want wins. As long as the Falcons continue to win, man. Yeah, as long as the Falcons continue to win, I think they have a legitimate. I think they have a legitimate chance of making a run in the playoffs if they can continue to improve on defense. All right, but they have to do the basics. The problem with this Atlanta Falcons team that they missed a lot of tackles and they're not consistent up front as far as the. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, but as long as the offense continue to make improvements, man, this Falcons team can make it to the playoffs. But yeah, man, him and those jumping. I think the problem with why he's jumping a lot is because of these defenders are going at their knees. All right, considering the fact that I understand that they're trying to protect a lot of players, but a lot of defenders are going at players' knees, and guys are doing a lot of jumping because they don't want defenders to go at the knee. So this rule, the NFL rule that you can't hit a guy up high, is what their guys like Austin Hooper don't want to happen. They don't want you to hit their knees. So you see Austin Hooper just try to jump over these guys, man. So that's why he's seeing a lot of jumping. I think he's, Hooper's just one of my favorite athletes, man. I just love Austin Hooper, to be honest. Austin Hooper is my dude, man. And sorry about the buffering, man. A lot of this damn internet connection goes in and out. So, yeah, sorry about that. Offensive line didn't protect Mac well. He got sacked way too many times. Yeah, that's what happens when you lose a guy like Brandon Fusco. Even when he was in, they was kind of struggling against Pittsburgh. The Falcons, for whatever reason, man, they struggled against the blitz. Ryan Schrader has been straight garbage, okay? Ryan Schrader has been straight trash this year. So unless Robert Offer, but Ryan Schrader improves, we're going to continue to see Matt Ryan hit the deck. I hope not, but for the most part, man, offensive liners need to do much better at run blocking. Okay, this run game has not been where I thought it would be, but this is exactly why I say people, Devonta Freeman is the best running back on this Atlanta Falcons team when he's healthy. I love Tevin Coleman as a backup, but he is not, okay? He is not a starting running back. You have to see what Ito can do. I think he is more suited for this Falcons offensive line as far as the running game concerned. They do way too many damn tall sweeps and zone stretches for me. So you get Devonta Freeman back. I think this offense is completely different. All right. He's been sacked way too many times. Yes, because the offensive line is inconsistent and the running game is damn sure inconsistent. So I would like to see a change in play calling as far as this is concerned. And I may get a little flack for this, but I think Ito Smith is better suited for this offense than Tevin Coleman is right now. Tevin Coleman is a terrific back. He can make big time plays, but he is not a starting back for me. I think right now, the way this offense is designed, it's better suited for guys like Ito Smith and better suited for guys like Ito Smith and Devonta Freeman. So if I can continue to get improved in the running game, man, the Falcons can make a run. But Tevin Coleman, I don't know if he's improving. I think he's exactly what he's been as a backup. There's nothing wrong with that because he's making plays. I just don't think he's improving or showing that he is a starting running back. All right. He's not a starting running back. He's a perfect complement to Devonta Freeman. He's a perfect complement to Ito Smith. And yeah, Aaron, man, Freeman just runs. He reminds me of a running back at the University of Georgia right now. You may have heard of him and his father, Elijah Holyfield, Evander Holyfield's son. Freeman and Holyfield run so freaking angry. They run with a purpose. They run like they, running for, they're trying to get another $200 million contract. That's how these guys running. He runs angry. He runs with authority. And that's something that I don't see from Tevin Coleman. Freeman, when he's on, boy, it's going to be a long day for that defense. It's going to be a long day for linebackers. It's going to be a long day for anyone that tries to tackle that guy. All right. That guy is unfreaking believable. Swift is more so like a guy. Swift is more so like Tevin Coleman. Why do I say that? Because he has that breakaway ability. It doesn't run well between the tackles and whatnot. I think you get Swift in open space, he can make some things happen. But yeah, purpose the way I like to design an offense, I prefer guys like Devonta Freeman. All right, Devonta Freeman just runs angry. He runs with a passion. He runs with a purpose. And man, I just love Freeman and Ito, man. Those guys run exactly alike to me. They run hard as hell, okay? I like big plays. I love the big play that Tevin Coleman provides for this offense. But when you have a guy like Freeman, yes, Boots, man, yeah. I think for the most part, Freeman is out for the rest of the season. But if the Falcons can make a problem, but I'm reading and talking at the same time. But if they can make a push at the playoffs, you could possibly see Devonta Freeman back. It's kind of weird what's going on with Devonta Freeman. First they say it's a knee injury, and you see that he's out for the season because of groin surgery. So I don't know what the hell's going on, to be honest. The Falcons, they are not truthful when it comes down to their injury report. I like it, but at the same time, as a fan, I want to know what's going on. But man, I really don't know what to think, man, about Devonta Freeman. I don't know what the hell is it his knee? Is it his groin? I don't fucking know. All right. I really have no damn clue. Oh, you stay in Southwest Missouri, man? Look, man, one of my co-hosts and of our new podcast, our new network that we're working on right now, Sports Inhibited Network. I'm always looking for guys to come on and have their own show. So if any of you guys are interested in podcasting, you have to be, okay? Have to be serious about it, all right? Have to be serious about legitimately coming on, have your own podcast. If you're serious about it, interested in join the team, man, hit me up. Show me some of your work. Again, man, like I said, any of you guys have a channel, you want to collab or whatever, man, just hit me up in the comments. I'll get back to you. But as far as the line, Glenn, I think the Falcons, you're absolutely right about that. And this is Dan Quinn says all the time, all right? You have to win the battles up front. And offensively, the Falcons haven't been consistent. Defensively, they've been more consistent. They've been more on the upside than downside. You have a couple of games here and there where they didn't get a ton of pressure, but the offensive line has to continue to improve if the Falcons want to make it to the playoffs, for one. But I like what I see from Tack, Vic, and Grady. I know people are just not happy with Vic Beasley sack numbers, but as far as pressure, getting to the quarterback, he's getting to the quarterback, but it's just finishing, okay? It really is about finishing with Vic Beasley. He's not finishing. For whatever reason, he's just having difficulty finishing. I don't know what it is. I don't know if maybe it's just him, not having a secondary move outside of that speed rush. He has to develop a secondary move. I mean, he developed it with Dwight Freeney, but he's kind of regressed and going back to his old habit. So Vic Beasley is definitely getting pressure. He's definitely getting pressure. Make no mistake about it, man. I've seen the numbers. Like I said, we have a team, and I go over a lot of this. Deion Jones has definitely been improving. Antoine, yeah. As far as Deion Jones is concerned, when you look at his numbers, PFF, as a run defender, he's definitely improving. He started out somewhere in the 50s, and now he is at 73, I believe it is. He's at 73 as his PFF score. So Deion Jones is making an impact, and he's improving at defensive tackle. I think he and Grady Jarrett, those trouble next year. Deion Jones is going to be a problem. He's a baby Grady Jarrett. All right, those guys, when he finally puts it together, understand what the offense is trying to do, and get after the quarterback, Deion Jones is going to be a problem. All right, he and Grady Jarrett, those guys are going to be a problem. I don't think Vic Beasley is going to be gone next season. That just, I know, like I said, I know people are unhappy with Vic Beasley's sack numbers, but there's nothing in his complete game that is saying that it's not worth him being here next year. The problem with Vic Beasley is simply just the sack total. He's getting pressures. I think right now he's leading the team in pressures, even over Takk McKinley. Takk McKinley has 7 sacks, I believe, is 7 or 8 sacks. But Takk has the sack numbers, but Vic Beasley is definitely getting to the quarterback. He's playing a lot of linebacker. He's doing multitude of things. So Vic Beasley, I expect him to be back next year. But when you looking at Vic Beasley, the issue is, do you want to pay Vic Beasley, 14, elite money for, under 10 sacks? I don't think you give Vic Beasley $12 million and he can't provide you more than 4 or 5 sacks a season. That's not going to happen. So I think what the Falcons would do with Vic Beasley is kind of give him a contract somewhere in the neighborhood of $7 to $8 million at an average, and you have to give him incentives so he can, be motivated by something. Because for whatever reason, Vic Beasley isn't motivated. I think when you have a guy like Takk McKinley who continues to improve, Grady Jarrett next to him, he's going to continue to be motivated by those guys' game. But when you have Vic Beasley not getting the sack numbers, I don't think you can give him $12 million. So I think the Falcons will give him, somewhere about the neighborhood of $8 million and about $2 to $3 million in incentives as far as sack numbers is concerned. That way, you don't overpay for a guy like Vic Beasley numbers. Vic Beasley is a vital part of this defense. He's a perfect complement to Takk McKinley and Grady Jarrett. So I don't think you completely just trade him away, especially for someone in the draft that may or may not be what's good. What's good, Dunn? No, Vic Beasley will be with the Falcons. I don't think you can pay him $12 million. So at this point, Vic Beasley is not in a position to say, okay, I want $12 million. The numbers just don't back that up. So if Vic Beasley was if he wants to stay with the Atlanta Falcons, he would take the $8 million and the incentives to go along with that. I think that's the perfect deal for the Falcons. That's the perfect deal for Vic Beasley. But if the Falcons don't want, if they feel they can get production elsewhere, I think they trade Vic Beasley. If they feel they can get pressure, or they want to move in another direction, I think they trade him in the offseason. That's if. Not saying this will happen, but if they feel the need, if they feel they need to move on from Vic Beasley because he's not getting the sack numbers, the end result, you have to, trade him now. Like, I don't think if you going to, if the Falcons wanted to move on from Vic Beasley, I think in the offseason is the perfect time. I mean, he's in his fifth year option. You don't know if he's going to. You don't know if he's going to have a big year. I don't know how the year is going to end. He could end up with 10 sacks by the year's end. I don't know, but right now, I think the Falcons will be back. Get another corner. Oliver is most likely, and I've said this, you can check out the videos. I expect Robert Alford to be gone this year, at the end of this year. If you look at the contract, I think the Falcons want to pay a guy. I don't think the Falcons pay a guy like Robert Alford $9 million to give up 224 yards in a game, okay, against the elite receivers. All right, you don't pay him $9 million, $9 million to do that. I mean, we can get Isaiah Oliver to put up bad numbers like that. So when you look at the contract, you look at Robert Alford's progression, he's getting worse, okay? This guy's the quarterback rating when throwing to Robert Alford is 120, okay? That is 120. That's one of the worst in the NFL as far as quarterback rating when he's throwing to Robert Alford. That is terrible, man. All right. Johnny Talk Sports. What's good, man? Y'all go check out his channel, man. Again, man, he's one of the guys. He does a lot of predictions. You guys can check that out. I love his channel. He's right on a lot of stuff. So Johnny Talk Sports, I subscribed to him a long time ago. I love his videos. I love his analysis on. He does a full in-depth analysis on how predictions from college to even the NBA, NFL. I think his channel is good. So check that out. Subscribe that. You guys, if you are into podcasting, you can check out the DMB report on Twitter. I will have that in the description as well. You can check that in the comments section. I will be on that show Tuesday. So if you guys, man, good gracious. I think the DMB report, they actually have a YouTube channel. So Don, if you can tell the people about that. Kiana, what's up with the lineman from Seattle we got? Seattle. The lineman of Seattle. I think he's gone. No, you mean Michael Bennett. I think that's the Michael Bennett you're referring to is one from Jacksonville. He had the same exact name, but he was inactive last week. I don't know why he was inactive. I thought he was doing well. So I don't know. But I think Robert Alford is gone. Like I said, Boots, man, I don't think the Falcons want to pay a guy $9 million to put up the effort he's been putting up so far this year. He can improve, but for inconsistent corner, and he's not a Dan Quinn guy, I think Dan Quinn wants his corners on this team. Trufant is still a terrific corner, despite the contract and despite what others think. Trufant is still one of the best corners in the league. I mean, you just look at the numbers. again, man, the Falcons defense in its entirety, they're not playing up to that capable of as far as the corner is concerned. But Robert Alford is just terrible, man. Robert Alford has been straight trash. I know y'all love the 4-4 speed. I know you love the pick six and the Super Bowl. I know you remember the pick six against Washington. That's all cute and dandy, but this guy's inconsistent. And I don't think the Falcons want to bring a guy back and pay a guy that isn't consistent. He makes terrible penalties. And he is, he's just not confident in his ability. This is like the 4th, 5th, 7th year that we've been talking about Robert Alford, not trusting his ability. All right, it's done. For me, that shit is done. I'm tired of it. If I have to continue to say for 7 years, a guy needs to understand that he's good, a guy needs to trust his ability, I don't want him on my team. I want a guy on my team that's confident in himself and confident in his ability. We've been saying this shit for 7 years about Robert Alford. Or he just doesn't trust his ability, all right? He doesn't trust his ability. He doesn't, when he does. Well, fuck all that, all right? The fuck with that. That's bullshit. I'm tired of saying when he does it. Well, he doesn't. Robert Alford doesn't trust his ability. He gets silly penalties. He panics and he makes terrible decisions. So enough with the bullshit. Enough with the fucking 4-4. Enough with the pick six. What have you done for me lately? And he ain't did shit lately. So when you look at Desmond Trufant, no Desmond Trufant doesn't get pick sixes. No Desmond Trufant doesn't get 4 speed, but he's fast, all right? Desmond Trufant is technically sound. You rarely see Desmond Trufant get beat deep. Last year was one of those down years for him. Who gives a fuck about what he's being paid? Desmond Trufant is one of the better corners in the league. The numbers say it. He's been consistent. So when we're talking about Desmond Trufant, Robert Alford, I know people are all into numbers and all that cute shit, pick sixes and whatnot. But when you're talking about corners, man, this shit, look, I gotta end, all right? Deion Sanders is the greatest corner of all time. Not because he has a lot of he does have a lot of picks. Deion Sanders is the best corner because, one, his technique. There is not a better corner in this league, in the history of the league, in my opinion, that was more technically sound than Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders knew exactly what you were going to do before you even did it. Just check out the highlights. You can go on YouTube, after this video, go on YouTube and look at what he did to Jerry Rice, one of the most technically sound receivers of all time, all right? Deion Sanders shut down a lot of big receivers. Why? Because his technique is what make corners, not the interception numbers. Deion Sanders is, when you talk about interceptions concerned, Deion Sanders, Champ Bailey, those guys are not big on interception. Why? Because teams just don't throw them. So I don't get carried away by how many interceptions corners get. I want to see what the percentage is, completion percentage is when quarterbacks throw to them. So if it's low, that is what I look at when his corners are concerned. I don't worry about the interceptions. I mean, that's all cute and dandy, but I don't want you completing a lot of big plays on my corner. So if you get those, those 5-yard routes here and there, no, that's fine with me. I'm good with that. But when you giving up 220 yards, all right, like Robert Alford did, I got a huge problem with that. 220 yards last game against the Giants, given up by Robert Alford. Trufant gave up 70. I'm good with the 70, all right? I'm good with that. But Trufant is definitely spizite. Trufant is regaining his confidence. He's getting back comfortable with the defense, and more And more so with true front, I think is about surrounding. When you have a corner that has a safety over the top that is capable of making the right reads and being where he should, that helps the corner out tremendously, man. If you don't have a safety over the top, you don't know what the hell he's doing, you expected him to be in a certain position and he's not, that plays in the cornerback's mind. So we're seeing that with true front. We're seeing that with Robert Alford. And so, and like I said, I don't want to beat down Robert Alford because, again, man, when you have Allen and Keanu Neal, your starting safety is out, that plays a tremendous role in how the corners are being, especially their confidence. All right, that plays a tremendous role in their confidence or lack thereof. Deion Jones is due back somewhere the Dallas game. I believe that is week 11, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he's back doing the Dallas Cowboys games. Man, Robert Alford fucking sucks. All right, like I said, I like Robert Alford. I love his speed. He does have ball hawk skills. What the fuck am I talking about? But he has ball hawking skills. He can make play. But the problem with Robert Alford, man, is just I'm tired of saying when he gets confident. All right, I'm sick of that shit. All right, I'm sick of the bullshit. We always want to throw Devonta Freeman under the bus because he can't, stay for the last year or so. He can't stay healthy. Well, I'm sick of this shit with Robert Alford. We've been saying for 6 fucking years when Robert Alford finally gets it together. He hasn't gotten together. All right? So fuck that. I'm tired of saying when Robert Alford gets the shit together. He's 30 years old, and we still talking about when Robert Alford gets it together, when he puts it all together, okay? He's still the same inconsistent corner that he's always been. No, I'm not saying he sucks, but I'm sick of it. Falcons need a guy that they can pay less money to who can do what Robert Alford does. I can deal with the corner that is inconsistent, but I can't deal with a corner that's inconsistent and he's making 9.5, almost $10 million. All right? I'm not paying for that. I can get a rookie cornerback that can do that. I'm not paying Robert Alford $38 million to be inconsistent. The fuck out of here. No. Tired of the holding. I'm tired of saying every year when Robert Alford puts it together. I'm tired of saying, him getting beat by every fucking body. AJ Green made him look fucking stupid. Odell, Sterling, Shepard, all those guys straight cooked Robert Alford. Still saying the same shit when he puts it together. And Antoine, man, he's already played slot corner. Robert Alford has played everyone on the field. And we're still having the same fucking conversation. When Alford puts it together. Well, he's 30 fucking years old. How much longer you guys are going to say this shit? Now get the fuck out of here. 30 years old, and we still 70 years in the damn league, and we're still talking about when Robert Alford puts it together. He's 30 years old. That's some hypocritical shit. Come on, man. We need Oliver in this. Only all last year. I mean, good gracious. How do you people say be Falcons fan? You don't see Robert Alford in the slot? Like he played in the slot in the Super Bowl. The whole 2016, 2017, 2016 for the most part, when you had Jalen Collins, that entire run, when the Falcons made that run in the Super Bowl, you saw Robert Alford in the slot. All right, they had Jalen Collins on the outside, and I forget who else was on the. But I'm drawing a blank right now as far as the second corner. But Robert Alford played a lot of slot. He played a lot of slot for the Falcons. But I'm tired of Robert Alford. All right, a lot of you guys are tired of. A lot of you guys are tired of True Font. Maybe that's because of the money. I get it. But again, man, you can't. A lot of time, man, you can't. I always say you can't fault these players for the money that they're getting. I'll take that shit. All right, I will take it. So a lot of these guys are being paid big money because of the pool. All right, players are just getting paid more money these days. All right, and the rules are as far as the rules are concerned, cornerbacks can't be physical at all. So when you look at it, man, cornerbacks is probably one of the best cornerbacks. Yeah, but as far as the cornerbacks concerned, cornerbacks is one of the most difficult positions to play in this current NFL, man. You can't touch the quarterback. You can't bump a receiver without it throwing a damn flag, holding. You know, you can't touch any damn body. All right. But these receivers, they can cut. You know, they can use those pick plays and completely knock off defensive backs, but they can't touch them. So cornerback is the most difficult position to play in the NFL, if you ask me. Can't do anything. You can't do any damn thing at corner. Yes, that's who it was, Jalen. Thank you, man. Brian Poole was the guy that played slot. Brian Poole played both. They was kind of because of the matchups. But Dan Quinn loves matchups. He's all about matchups. At times, you saw Jalen on the outside. It was Brian Poole actually on the outside also. He played a lot of slot. And you had Robert Alford in certain times. And a lot of times during that playoffs run 2016, you saw Robert Alford in the slot as well. And you're seeing that this year. Dan Quinn is all about matchup. So if he sees a matchup and he sees a guy is better suited, he's trying to take away a offense strength. That's why we saw a lot of True Font playing slot against the Cincinnati Bengals because he was trying to take away certain things. But one of the most difficult routes to cover in the NFL, in this current NFL, is the drag route, all right? Because you can't touch the receiver. That play is almost automatic. It's almost automatic right now. You can't touch a receiver. You can't bump them. You can't do anything. So I always give players corners the benefit of the doubt when it comes to drag routes because that play is damn near impossible to defend these days. But yeah, see, that's exactly yes, Antoine. That's what it was. Goodwin also played on the outside, so that's Goodwin. I bet CJ Goodwin, he played on the outside with Jalen Collins, and when we needed a fourth corner, that's when Brian Poole played a lot of slot. So when teams went, that's exactly what got us beat in the Super Bowl with Tom Brady is because you had Brian Poole in the slot, who's not a cornerback. Okay, he's better suited for safety, if you ask me. You know, you have to have Robert Alford, and they just stayed completely away from Robert Alford. But he did play a lot of slot. If you're gonna play corner for Dan Quinn, you better be prepared to play inside and outside. So this is exactly what you can do with True Front. True Front can play all over the field. Robert Alford, when he gets his shit together, and I don't expect him to get his shit together anytime soon. But they just basically just attacked our young secondary at the time. I mean, yeah, we blew a 17-point lead and whatnot in 2013 with pretty much the same thing. We blew the 28-3 lead with the same thing. But it all comes down to it, man. The Falcons secondary, they have to get this. They have to get this squared away. I think when you look at next year's concern, I think you have a new corner, Isaiah Oliver. I think they'll probably bring in a veteran corner to be that slot receiver or slot corner. I really honestly don't believe you, Robert Alford, is going to be back. I really don't. I mean, anything can happen, but when you look at the money, I don't expect Robert Alford to be back. But yeah, Keanu, the next 3 games are winnable. I think Washington is a game we're definitely capable of winning. I don't think they have what it takes on offense, to be honest, to beat the Atlanta Falcons. Alex Smith is a veteran. They have Adrian Peterson, but I don't think they have a ton of explosive players. I mean, you have Jordan Reed, the tight end, but he's, I'm just not scared of Washington, to be honest. Cleveland, yeah, they're all nice and pretty. They have a pretty good defense, but the offensive line definitely has to play better against Cleveland. They have a legitimate, big, solid defense. I love the Cleveland defense, but offensively, I'm not worried about them. Playing against a rookie quarterback, Dan Quinn is going to expose him. He's going to put Baker Mayfield to work. You can believe that. Dan Quinn is brilliant when it comes to rookies. Saints are damn sure lucky. Not worried about them. They're going to get to the playoffs and lose again. So all those stats and all this type of crap, nah, it is what it is. And everybody talking about Drew Brees, he's the MVP. He's playing lights out. This man threw for, 100 yards yesterday? All right, 100-something yards. And this is supposed to be, the Saints are just fucking stupid. They're just, I don't know what the hell they're thinking about. It's nice to be confident in yourself, in your team. The way that defense is designed, man, there's no way in hell they're going to beat the Rams. Especially with Gurley playing the way he's playing. Aaron Donald. Sue. The Rams just have too much for the Saints. Saints barely beat Cleveland. Missed field goals. They've just been so damn lucky. Like, I'm not concerned about them. Everyone is, they love, teams. A lot of analysts are in love with the end result, which is 5-1, 6-1, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're 6-1. But I'm not buying the Saints. This is lucky. They're not really blowing teams out. They barely getting by teams. If you even look at the Falcons, a lot of our losses come at last possession. So Falcons are still just right there, man. Yes, that's another guy. Amari Cooper, you give up a first round for Amari Cooper. Man, look, man, I'm not just... Dallas is a mess. And like I said, my homegirl, LaDonna, who's a Cowboys fan, man, she absolutely hated that trade for Amari Cooper. Give up a first rounder for Amari Cooper. You just should have kept Dez for me. You just should have just kept Dez. Didn't make sense. Fitz Magic, whatever. I ain't worried about them. I don't think you go back to Fitzpatrick. If I'm, if I am the Bucks, I think you have to stick with Jameis. All right, Fitzpatrick is old. All right, you're not going to make a run at the playoffs. You have too many losses right now. I don't think you're getting any better on defense. You just fired Mike Smith as a defensive coordinator. So why would you start Ryan Fitzpatrick? Like I said, if I were them, the intelligent thing and the wise thing to do is to continue to play Jameis Winston. All right, you drafted this guy, and if you bench him for Ryan Fitzpatrick, you're sending a terrible message to the team that you don't believe in this guy, and everybody's going to want out. So I don't think you start Fitzpatrick. I think that's the worst thing you can do as that organization is to bench is to bench Jameis Winston. I mean, the Saints may get to the playoffs, but they still ain't shit. All right, so fuck the Saints. And yes, the Falcons do have the best division record in the NFC South. So, like I said, the Falcons don't have to. They really do not have to win the division. All right, they really don't. So when that is concerned, man, as far as that's concerned, no, the Falcons are not out of it, but they have to win the next couple of games, man. And yeah, that's a good point, Keanu. The Giants were 9-7 and they won the fucking Super Bowl at 9-7. So I'm so not. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Green Bay Packers were also, well, they were 79 or 9-7. It may have been 8-8, but the Green Bay Packers had a subpar winning record also. So I believe they were 8-8, if I'm not mistaken, and they made the playoffs and won the Super Bowl. So that made it a run. So it's not out of the question. I'm not counting the Falcons out. And that game was, man, look, in Minnesota was definitely on. No, I think they at one point they were 8-8 and they made the playoffs. They made a run in the playoffs too. It was 9-7. It was 9-7 one year, and they was 8-8. But they definitely, it was Green Bay, but I know I believe it was 9-7 also. But they had a subpar season also, and they made it. They made it to it. So I'm not, man. Like I said, I'm definitely not. I'm not counting the Falcons out, especially when you get Deion Jones back and you win the next 3 games. The Falcons are right back in it. And if they do somehow make it to the playoffs with these starters out, I think you looking at Dan Quinn is probably the coach of the year if you ask me, man. You cannot say this will not be a best coaching job in the NFL if somehow the Falcons win the next 3 games and they have had Deion Jones, Ricardo Allen, and Keanu Neal, all right, out and still somehow made the playoffs. Yes, you got to give Dan Quinn coach of the year. I'm sorry. You just have to. Yeah, we can all agree. We can all agree that Saints, no, the hell with the Saints. Not worried about them. Yeah, I think that's a big game in New Orleans. Falcons just have to just play better defense. Those games always come down to shootouts, and I'm so not afraid of the Saints defense at all. I'm not worried about them. I'm not worried about Carolina. They beat up a confusing Baltimore Ravens team. I think Ravens are much better than what they been playing, but man, Carolina's just lucky. I'm not worried about it. They play good defense, but I just can't trust Cam Newton. Sorry, I just cannot trust that dude. Deion and Casey get interceptions, man. Look, man, Debo already has. We all know that he has Drew Brees' number. All right, we know that for sure. And Casey is getting better. You get those guys back towards the end of the season, man. Ulysses Ventura. Do you see the Falcons make any trades? I don't think. If the Falcons make a trade, it won't be something big. It'll be something real minor, like a trade that they did with the Patriots. They had with the Patriots with Jordan Richards. It may be a 5th round pick or something, to that. But I don't think you see anything significant. The Falcons won't do anything significant. They just don't have the cap space to make trades. That they don't really have anyone right now, if you look at offensively or defensively, to make a deal. Carl Joseph, I'm not giving up a 4th or 5th round. I mean, you have to think long term also with the Atlanta Falcons as far as they're concerned. Carl Joseph, can he play with the Atlanta Falcons? Maybe. I'm not sure about that. As far as Carl Joseph, I like him. I think he'll fit well with the Falcons. But when you have Keanu Neal, Ricardo Allen, KZ all under contract, what are you going to do with Carl Joseph in the long term? His long-term fit with the Atlanta Falcons, I mean, isn't something that is reasonable. Dan Quinn always states that when you make moves, when you make trades like this, what is the long-term possibility of, what's the possibility of that player possibly staying more than a year? Falcons don't make moves just out of one, just a 1 year, especially trades are concerned. They don't do things like that. So when they make a move, a trade like that, they're going to keep you for the next couple of years or so. So Carl Joseph, I don't see Carl Joseph fitting in the long term with the Atlanta Falcons. But missed tackles, definitely Jalen. I think missed tackles is definitely something that the Falcons have gotten much better at the last couple of games. And Giorgio Trevecchio, man, the Falcons special teams, we just have good luck with kickers, man. We always had some good luck with kickers. Matt Bryant, you go Matt Bryant, Jason Elam. No guys probably don't remember Jason Elam, but Matt Bryant, Jason Elam, Morton Anderson. The Falcons have been pretty good as far as kickers are concerned, man. Oh, yes, man. I like Tavecchio. Giorgio, as like I call him. 56. I was nervous as hell when he lined up, but he hit that bitch. Oof. That could have gone for like 60 yards the way he kicked that thing. But I still trust Matt Bryant. I want Matt Bryant back. Only when he's healthy. So hopefully we can keep Tavecchio for the next couple of years, for the next year or so. Because Matt Bryant is, 42, 43 years old. Maybe we can, stash him away, but I doubt it the way the NFL is. Who's the better coach, Mike Smith or Dan Quinn? He, ha, ha, ha. Man, I'm not even answering that shit. Julio has another 250-yard game. Man, look, man. I never count out Julio Jones. That's one thing you don't do is say Julio Jones can't do this and Julio Jones can't do that. Outside of scoring touchdowns, there's nothing Julio can't do. He just had bad luck with touchdowns, man. But at the same time, I don't think the Falcons even care, to be honest. I don't think Julio Jones cares about touchdowns, man. Mike Smith gave me so many damn heartburns, so many fucking headaches, so many every damn thing. Mike Smith is just, oh my gosh. I don't know, man. And man, I really have no clue why everyone is so worried about Quinteros Lopez-Jones. I have no idea, man. This dude putting up numbers. He's still the best receiver in the game. I don't know why. I guess when you talk about fantasy numbers and all that shit, maybe that's something, but Julio's still Julio. Michael Thomas is overrated. Everybody on that damn Saints team is overrated. All they do is throw every single play. Every single play. That guy, that Alvin Kamara that everybody was talking about last year, guess what? He's not any good. He's going to catch passes out of the backfield. That's what he does best. He's not a threat. All right? He's not a threat at all. Michael Thomas is more of a threat than Alvin Kamara is, if you ask me. Teams know what to expect from Alvin Kamara. He's not a running back. He's just a guy that catches. He's basically Darren Sproles. That's it. I'm not concerned with at all. I'm definitely not concerned with Alvin Kamara. Michael Thomas is a big receiver, but what that Saints offense, all they do is throw the ball. I mean, that's all they want to do. Throw. Even when they up, they want to throw, and throw some more. So Saints is the most overrated offense of all time, if you ask me. Those guys are just strictly up for numbers. Period, point blank. That's all they do. Every single play. It's all about numbers, end results. Even when they up, instead of running the ball, guess what they're going to do? They're going to screen play, and they're going to do that. And they're going to give Alvin Kamara passes out of the backfield. This guy have more catches than some receivers do. All right? And he's a damn running back. So it's all about numbers and shit with them. I'm not worried about Michael Thomas. I don't think he's that good of a receiver, to be honest. Like I said, I think he's all about numbers, man. I definitely think he's overrated. I think, when you talk about receivers, I think Michael Evans is better than Thomas. And that's just being honest, man. But yeah, man, Thomas is a pretty good receiver, but when you're talking about is he in a conversation of elite receivers, I don't throw Mike Thomas in there at all. I can name at least 8 receivers, in my opinion, that are better than him. I mean, for me, I would rather have Thielen than Michael Thomas. I would rather have Calvin Ridley than Michael Thomas. I would much rather have a ton of guys in the NFL than Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas is just a Saints player. Simple as that. But man, Calvin Ridley or Saquon for offensive rookie of the year. It's too early to say that. I don't like what I'm seeing for Saquon. That Giants offense is not helping him. So I can't say Saquon is offensive rookie of the year. If you're gonna say rookie of the year, if Calvin Ridley continue to make plays the way he's been making plays, I say Calvin Ridley. But it's not a ton of. It's really not a ton of players in the NFC or in the league right now offensively that are really putting up numbers. I mean, a quarterback, Baker Mayfield. I don't know. The guy, I forget the offense. Arizona's quarterback. Maybe him, but it's not a ton of. It really isn't a ton of offensive rookies that are putting up numbers. So I say Calvin Ridley. To be honest, I think Calvin Ridley could win offensive rookie of the year. Justin Gage will be used more next year. I don't think the Falcons, they draft a year ahead of schedule. So when I tell people all the time, when you look at the Falcons, they draft players later in the rounds, to be backup or security for what's to come. And that's why I say when you look at Robert Alford, Falcons just didn't draft Isaiah Oliver to come in and be a backup. All right. He came in to play. Next year, he came in to play. Russell Gage, he will come into play next year. He will be that fourth receiver because I don't think Justin Hardy is coming back. Justin Hardy will be gone. So we're looking at Gage to be that fourth and special teams wide receiver. Man, look, that's been the story of the Falcons for years. I mean, if I had an answer to that, Jalen, man, we have about 3 or 4 Super Bowls right now. So that's the damn problem. That's been the problem for the Falcons, since damn 1999, going back to the Super Bowl. The offense didn't show up in the Super Bowl. The defense didn't show up in the Super Bowl. I mean, the offense played well enough to win in the Super Bowl, but the defense didn't show up. So that's been the general conversation for years, for decades for the Falcons, man. When one side of the ball plays well, the other side doesn't. So, man, I don't fucking know, man. I have no fucking clue. Matt Ryan definitely playing MVP. Right now, you got to give it to Pat Mahomes. But if Matt Ryan continues to play out of his mind, man, you can't deny that he may not be. He's definitely going to be top 2, top 3 for MVP. I think it's 1, 2, Matt Ryan, Pat Mahomes, and Matt Ryan as of right now as MVP is concerned, man. But we already know how things happen. Falcons players don't get a ton of respect, so I don't expect Matt Ryan to be taken serious, especially when we're sitting at 3 and 4. Tevin Coleman would be good with any team with his ability. The problem with Tevin Coleman is he's not a starting running back. He's a perfect complement to a starting running back. I think you have to, in this current NFL, you have to have running backs that can do multiple things. And right now, Tevin Coleman is one of those guys that's just better suited for outside zoning team. It just doesn't run well when it comes to running up the middle at all. So I think Tevin Coleman will be back, but he's not a starting running back, if you ask me. Just been disappointed in him because I thought he would make that jump this year, but it hasn't happened. Yeah, but Joe Padula, defense has been bad, but it's simply because of injuries. I mean, too many damn injuries on that Falcons team, man. Just way too many freaking injuries. Now, Breeze is far. No way in hell Breeze is going to win MVP. I mean, he's playing okay, but you got to be a fucking idiot not to give it to Pat Mahomes right now. That guy's playing out of this fucking universe. Everything about the Saints is overrated. Defense, offense, special teams, coach, every damn thing. Not worried about them. I mean, how the hell you trade your entire draft and future for a guy for this year? Like, who the fuck goes all in 1 year for a 39-year-old quarterback? That's fucking stupid. Now you have no future because you're trying to go all in 1 year. It just doesn't make sense. That whole damn Saints organization is damn dumb. Have no picks. They have nothing for the next couple of years. Saints is just fucking garbage. Man, again, man, I appreciate it, man. I'm tired as hell. My voice is getting tired as hell, man. I appreciate all of the love, support. Continue to subscribe to support the channel. Subscribe. Tell your friends about the channel, man. Your boy, man, Mike is out, man. Peace.